I'm about 3 weeks away from quite possibly my favorite time of the year, and that's the beginning of harvest season. I originally filmed this video about 2 weeks ago, was really excited. It's almost harvest season on my first tree, had a huge set, that's the Flavor Delight Aprium, and I want as much of this fruit as possible. I've had some really good results in the past, different ways of protecting fruit. I've personally done about 3 things, and there's one more that I wanted to try this year, so we're going to talk about those in a second. But I realized I need a 2-part series for this because as I was waiting to edit this video, there was a ton of action on my trees, and I realized probably want to document the results. So I'm going to go ahead and make this a 2-parter, but for now, let's talk about 4 different things that you can do, or at least try, to protect your fruit and get the maximum harvest that you can this season. One of the easiest things you can do to protect your fruit is to get little baggies just like this one. They make them in different sizes and shapes, so you can use them for different fruit as well as different colors. And I chose green because it blends in with the foliage better, as well as kind of hides a little bit of the reddish hues and those deeper colors when your fruit are ripening. So today we've got this beauty plum right here. There's 3 of them right on the end there. So we're just going to take this, try to avoid getting the leaves in there, but if you do, not that big of a deal. And you're just going to cinch them. And that right there is enough to protect from birds, but if you want to get even crazier, you can tie around the branch. Putting on the bags becomes quite a bit easier once the fruit are a little larger. For this one, we got a tight space, but pretty easy to just tie a little quick knot. And now, if for some reason you don't pick this before it fully ripens, it could fall, just like this one, which I just knocked off. Charge it to the game. But if it ripens fully and drops into the bag, it's not going to hit the ground and be free game for any rodents or anything else down here. So this thing's good to go, and now just got to do the rest of the tree. Next up, got something a little special here, hitting them with the hot sauce. And this isn't really going to be effective against birds because birds don't have sensory, I don't know, they basically just don't respond to hot sauce. But if you've got a bunch of squirrels or you've got rats or anything like that, the hot sauce can be a deterrent. And so a couple ways of doing this. Right now I'm taking these bags, using a little soap in the mixture, and that'll help some of the hot sauce stick to the bags for a little longer. You know, I've got some pretty advantageous squirrels, and they like to get up in the trees, and so I'm soaking these bags. I don't even want them to touch the bags, let alone the fruit underneath. And here's what it looks like as I bag them up. Now, if you got a tree with hundreds of fruit on it, this method, maybe not the best one. I mean, it's going to take a long time to get them all covered. But the good news is you don't have to bag them all up. You can just directly spray the trees with this mixture. And you do want to use a little bit of soap in there, like I said, to help the hot sauce stick around on the fruit. But pretty simple, and you don't have to worry about spraying the tree. It'll be fine. The hot sauce doesn't affect it in any way. But you want to make sure that you hit your fruit, and let's deter those rats, squirrels, and other little guys that are trying to get theirs, you know? And on to the next one. Here you're about to see me struggle with a whole tree cover. And this netting I've used before, seems to be really, really effective, but I do not like this method. And that's because it weighs so much, and a lot of these trees have new growth, so you end up getting a lot of that new growth kind of mushed up against the edge of the tree and deforming, and depending on how long you leave this on, it can end up making your tree kind of ugly. Not a big deal if you're going to prune off the ends anyway, as I am, but I don't really like this method. So if I can avoid it, I typically do. This net is great though. It does have a cinch at the bottom. It has a zipper so you can get in and get to your fruit. But yeah, I've not stuck with this method in previous years, as the individual fruit bags have worked really well. And in fact, I'm actually going to test these fruit bags against a new method, and that is bird tape, which you can see me taking out right here. This is something I haven't used before, so I'm setting up this tree kind of half and half. It's a Goldmine, it's a white nectarine, and actually this is going to be the first year that I'm getting fruit off of it, so really excited about it. And this will be a good test to check out for part 2 of this series. Here's a closer look at the bird tape. It's just plastic, reflective, shiny material, and it's supposed to scare away the birds. I'm putting it pretty close to the fruit and putting it all around the tree. Again, this is my first time, so I don't know exactly how it's going to work out, but pretty simple. You just tie it around, do a little loop, and leave enough material left over to flap around in the wind, and hopefully the light hits it right and scares away any birds. Well, there you have it. 4 different ways I'm protecting my fruit this year. Really excited to see the results. If you're interested, make sure to subscribe to the channel, like this video, leave a comment or question, and I'll make sure to update you as the season progresses. See you later.